In 1994, there was a design prize given out in the Netherlands. Where's my thing? Over here. And they got into a fight. The design prize got into a fight. There were two fractions. One of them wanted that one, the other one wanted that one. And the thing that really was at stake was what is design? So the left side said it is engineering based, it's industrial, it's big industrial products. And the right side said it's an applied art. It's about form giving. They both wrote a jury report. It was a real fight. And nobody used the word design. Nobody. The right side consequently used the word vormgeving in Dutch, which would be auf Deutsch vormgebung, which would be in French mise en forme. And the left side consequently ontwerpen, entworfen, conception. So the word design in mainland Europe was never being used for the profession we now all have. Even on my graduation diploma, the word design is not on it. Up. 10 years later, 2004, one of the books written was by Aaron Besky, False Flat, Why Dutch Design is So Good. And he presented, of course, these design icons on top, but together with all kind of architecture, city planning, public space design, graphic design. And he all called it design. It was all design, because meanwhile the world has been globalized, internationalized, and our profession has been globalized, and we did what the Anglo-Saxon tradition was, call it design. Then design grew and grew and grew, and meanwhile on Wikipedia you can find all these different types of sport that we all call design. So it seems like you found the right spot to be here, because design is a success. Books sell enormously. Blogs have millions of hits. I mean, I just spoke to Design Boom, 2 million a month. Everybody wants to be on the bandwagon. It's a big success. Some professions, like social engaged art, don't even exist anymore. It's called social design. And the best thing, you can choose any of these and call yourself a design, whatever, pick it, a process designer tomorrow, because there's no regulation that you have to have a certain degree or whatever. So I'm going to show you a couple of things that we refer to as design, and have some notions about how design is this design, or what is going on. And of course, we all agree that this is design. Product-based or typography, graphical, the scale, the use of materials. We don't need to discuss this. And we don't need to discuss, of course this is design, but these things function in fact like art objects. They're being sold in galleries. There are only 10 of the middle one. They cost tens of thousands of euros. These are author pieces that in fact function like art objects, but we call them design. Which is fine, of course. I mean, I talk a bit about what design cannot do in a way, so I'm going to spoil the party. They've invited me to do that. Very often I'm invited to spoil parties. So this is all open design. Yeah, I will keep my promise and spoil. So this is all open design. That means that you can download each of these designs tonight, print it out, or make it, change it a bit, and it's your own design, because there's no author to these designs. So where we always thought that design at least definitely had an author, no, it's not. Doesn't have to be that way. The middle one won a design prize, financially the biggest design prize that you can win. But we used to call that technology, didn't we? The left one as well, the right one, this web, the whole startup scene, the web application, the app development, which is crucial, and design has a crucial role in that. But design took it over in a way. So in the right one, it's an app, like there are millions of apps, but this one makes it easier to rent a car, which has a huge impact, of course, because more cars are being rented, less cars are being kept, or people have less cars. So we gotten into a place where design grows and grows and grows and grows, from the inside and from the outside. It takes professions. It goes on and 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 on. It's a success, everybody can join it, everybody can be there, get in the room, call yourself a designer. Design is everywhere, and everybody is a designer. And it never gets ugly, because even this sponge, this wild sponge, it will never get ugly. So here in design thinking, it goes on. There's not even a product involved in here anymore. It's a way of thinking. we call design thinking. Very crucial to this design thinking is the number 3, is the part where creativity is involved. Mostly, we don't call design design if there's no creativity in the process involved. Then it becomes something like project management. And so if you try to tackle what is design, what's the core of design, the core probably is here in the 3rd phase, creativity. In the old days, when I was young, if you were creative, it was like, oh, poor boy, he has to go to art school, will never earn any money. But now everybody's like, wow, he's so creative. That's something that has become. The minister is here convincing us what design can do and how important it is to be creative. It wasn't like that in the old days, but nevertheless, we're now here. So the guy in the 3rd picture has this design thinking method where you can get people involved in design processes who never done it, who never have been creative at all. In these co-working spaces, which are very often being sort of subsidized by governmental bodies, the idea is to get people together, with all kind of creative people together, because something will emerge and even more creativity will happen. So there is this huge belief in the Western world, meanwhile, that creativity will help us, will save us. Because in China you can produce it cheaper, in India you can engineer it cheaper, but the last thing we as West Europeans are really sure of that we can do is be creative. So we gotten into a place where creativity can solve almost everything. We have a true belief that design and creativity will be able to solve everything. And I wonder, because sometimes that bothers me, because I think in that case we should be able to solve the hunger in Ethiopia, or the water problem in Zambia, or the smog in Beijing, As the previous speaker says, as almost all speakers say, like, we can do even more, we can solve things. And yeah, as I said, it bothers me a bit, because I think, is it really true that to solve smog in Beijing you need to be even more creative? I don't think so. I think we need firm politics. I think creativity is not always the definite clue to everything. I'm going to show you some projects where I think that the expectations that we rise as designers, that we sort of speak out, that we can solve stuff that we probably can't solve. So in the left picture, it's called the C project, or the C chair. It's about the plastic soup. And the plastic soup is an environmental problem which is huge and humongous, you all know. It has a size of 35 times the Netherlands. And this guy makes this small chair, and with that machine next to it, and says, in that way, because he made it downloadable, so all fisher ships can download it, we can solve the plastic soup. I think we need billions of these chairs to solve only this bit of the plastic soup. So to me, this is not a solution. I'm not going too far into the right one. We've discussed it last year here or previous, but it's the same thing. It generates the hope that something can be solved, but it doesn't really bring the solution in a way. Daan Rozengaarde, fantastic guy, and I appreciate him very much, was called by the mayor of Beijing if he could solve the smog above Beijing. And sure, the image says it all. He'll burn a hole. Designer burns a hole in it. Even the newspaper and CNN, the designer is gonna solve it. He made that ring out of the particulars in the smog. I think I'm glad they didn't call me, because I cannot solve the smog in Beijing. If there's somebody is, please say so, we will call the mayor, but I think it's not a design problem. It's a political problem. We all know how to solve smog, or at least there is a lot of experience in many cities, so let's not say that we can do that if we can't. Because if we rise the expectations about what design can do, we rise and rise and rise, and we don't get better just as much, we might well be in a design bubble. So we are slowly, design is getting into the realm of hope. We're getting into the hope industry. And I think it's interesting in one hand, because the hope industry used to be driven by religion. And then it got into politics, like Martin Luther King or JFK. And now the hope industry is partially in the design industry. Thanks for letting me share this.